Emma calling me an asshole made my day. Anyway, the moral of her story might be, don't ever go boots on the ground with me and tell me I'm allowed to make a YouTube video with you being the star. Anyway, I'm in my backyard again. I have a new barking dog next door. There's golfers running around behind me. The air conditioner's running. It is noisy, but I'm going to try to do this today. I just got home from an 8-day trip to the Polaris Dillon area, and I went boots on the ground 4 or 5 of those days with Emma and Scott. It was such a good time. We did not find the Posey treasure, but we definitely found some of our own treasures, and it was a delight to actually get to go boots on the ground with them. And actually, part of the really good part about being with someone else, especially someone that you like, not only is the boots on the ground itself an adventure and fun, but it was so much fun actually collaborating with people who had similar ideas to mine. So anyway, there's so much information to share. I'm going to do this in one video, hopefully not too long, and I'm going to divide it up into probably like a part 1 solve and a part 2 solve. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Before I share my first solve, I want to make it clear that everything in this video is in my opinion and does not necessarily reflect Scott and Emma's solve or their opinions, other than that Emma believes I'm an asshole. Also, I am not trying to convince anyone that my thoughts and ideas are correct. This was my 6th boots on the ground trip since mid-April. I knew I had to refine my solve to give me an X on a map. Last month, Scott and I met at the Grasshopper Inn, and I knew his solve made an X over Goodenough Park at the base of Comet Mountain. My recent strategy changed to where I went to use the Jack Stoof method, which means find the place where the treasure was hidden and then reverse engineer the poem to confirm it works. I believe the line, "Wonder guards the sacred space," defines the general area where Justin hid the treasure. I also believe that the word wonder refers to Brandon. I believe Justin said the location is beautiful, significant, and sentimental. So what stories in the book direct you to those places involving Brandon? Coolidge, the ghost town where they traipsed through its crumbling structures, pockets filled with gold. Crystal Park, where he and his brothers found their real treasures, and Comet Mountain. Like Forrest Fenn's special place where he grew up at 9 Mile Hole, I believe Justin's is where he spent his summers between Coolidge, Crystal Park, and Comet Mountain. I needed to find the X on a map. Unicode or Angzar symbol that Justin used in his book has 2 X's in it. Could I use the 20-degree angle of the compass on the book cover to create the long side of the right angle and then connect Coolidge, Crystal Park, and Comet Mountain to form the X on a map? I did, and it fell almost directly over Goodenough Park at the base of Comet Mountain. His dedication in the book even states, "You are enough." I made a rough search of Goodenough Meadow the day before Scott and Emma arrived. I made a clean trail from where I parked, along the fence through the trees and into the meadow, then checked out the largest granite boulder in the center before checking more granite boulders along the tree line. I was actually looking for the double arcs on Granite Bold. I found a fresh pile of bear scat, which kept me from searching into the woods, forcing me to return to my truck. However, the next day, I sent Emma into the forest to flush out any bears. Actually, all 3 of us entered the trees looking for granite boulders with double arcs carved in stone. Eventually, we conceded it is probably wrong. We did like our confirmation bias from the book, though, in the Gracie Grail story, where Justin talked about the pricing regarding his treasure, a hand-drawn map. After all, Price Creek runs right through Goodenough Park. During my trip, I remember Justin, when asked how far is it from the first clue to the last clue in miles, answered, "This is not possible to answer. Based on how the clues are structured, it is the wrong question to ask." He also stated it, meaning the poem, can be solved in multiple ways, some more challenging than others. This was one reason I liked using the Angzar as a path on my map, because I believe Justin's poem is not linear like the Forrest Fenn poem. Since he wrote in the acknowledgments section, Forrest Fenn, whose treasure chest started as my destination but became my launching point, and included the picture of the Fenn chest at Marvin's Rock along the Madison River, I wondered if the path to his treasure starts at 9 Mile Hole and follows the Madison River using waterways to take you to his treasure container. The Madison flows to Three Forks, where it conflues with the Jefferson, which connects to the Big Hole at Twin Bridges. The Big Hole flows through Wise River, where the Wise flows along the Pioneer Scenic Byway. Its confluence starts at Jacobson Creek and Mono Creek, near a possible Her Foot of Three, near the cabin near Mono Park Campground. If Comet Mountain is metaphorically his bride, then to return her face, you'd need to go up Mono Creek to Mono Park and the container. If you're still watching this, the hike along Mono Creek was my favorite. You have to go through a cattle gate, but you are on National Forest land. You can either walk through the gate or drive through and park not too far on the other side. We started by looking at the granite boulders in the boulder field, looking for the double arcs on granite bowls, specifically like the image on his truck. This road along Mono Creek is closed to vehicles since the bridge is out, but it was a beautiful, easy trail or abandoned road. Nothing stood out until about the 0.8 miles from where we parked when we saw this orangish boulder rock outcropping. It was beautiful. We made our way to the viewing area on top of that orange rock feature, where I set up my phone on a tripod to take a picture using the timer. After half a dozen tries or more, we got a keeper. We continued to walk another mile looking for the waterfall on Mono Creek, not to find the container since we were beyond the 1 mile criteria, but because Scott made us. Just kidding. It was so beautiful. We saw lots of X's on boulders, but nothing like Justin described. It was an awesome day. I continue to believe Justin's treasure is somewhere in the spirit of Brandon, guarding the sacred space between Grand Vista and the latitude of Comet Saddleback Mountains. But what I can't figure out is the 4 and the 2 on his taillight and the odd image on his back window of his truck when Netflix filmed him fly fishing on the Wise River just south of Little Joe Campground. Lots of folks think the 4 and the 2 is a mile marker. I took a video of mile marker 42 on Route 278, which is just south of Jackson and near the turn to Skinner Meadow. Another mile marker 42 is northeast of Wisdom, on Highway 43, I think it is, just north of the Big Hole River Bridge as you cross into Deer Lodge County if you're northbound. Neither of these make sense to me, since he set up the Netflix scene along the Wise River knowing that's where he would get out and the camera would capture the back of his truck. I'd like to thank Emma and Scott for all their time they spent with me, their permission to include them in this video, all the dinners they bought, their collaboration, and mostly their friendship. You guys rock.